Dr. Lee. I'm Zolan. So my team is incomplete today, so I apologize, and thank you for making time for this interview today. So as I know that Dr. Lee, you are the Deputy Dean for School of Applied Science and also a senior lecturer for biotechnology. So would you like to share with us your teaching experience as well as your philosophy in teaching?
Okay, I started working in AIMS in 2009. So this year actually it's nearly 10 years teaching in AIMS. In AIMS, when I started teaching, I taught biochemistry, biomolecular diagnostics, medical biotech, and also bioinformatics. So throughout these 10 years, when I first came in, actually I was just fresh from my PhD degree. So it was quite a challenging experience, but as I go on, I gain more experience and today.
Okay, so from the information given by my teammates, so Dr. Lee, you have done your degree in biomedicine and also completed your doctorate for molecular biology, majoring in disease and diagnosis in University of Science Malaysia. So may I know why you choose the field of biology as your career, and what interests you in further your path in this field?
I choose biology, specifically biotechnology, because I think it is a very interesting field. There's a lot of things that we can learn from nature. And my first degree was in biomedicine, but later on when I did my PhD, I did on molecular biology. So it's also similar in the field of biology. So during my PhD, I did a research on isothermal amplification of Vibrio cholerae. So in that research, actually we found out that there is a new method to amplify DNA and also to detect the disease in a much faster way.
Okay, so since you are focusing more on research, so would you like to share with us your research so far and also some of your experience in researching?
My research experience, the early ones I did on, like I mentioned, in molecular diagnostic. That was my PhD research. So during my PhD research, I worked on the development of a diagnostic kit for Vibrio cholerae. And later on, when I came to AIMS, I did research mostly on the molecular biology, on sequencing, also on fudge work, and some biosensor work along the way.
Okay, so since that, okay, just want to ask that what is your most satisfying accomplishment along the way, like after all your research, and what do you think you're most satisfied of what you're doing?
The most satisfying? What was the question again?
Means that what's your most satisfying accomplishment that you have like so far?
So far, actually the most satisfying is when I see my students succeed. So whenever I hear any news from my former students, if let's say they have gained maybe admission into a good university or they further their studies in a good university, then for me that's actually also something that is satisfying to me lah.
Okay, so like I'm kind of curious, like Dr. Lee, why would you choose AIMS University as your extension in your teaching career?
Actually, I applied when I graduated with my PhD. I searched a few places, but when I came to AIMS, I found that the campus is very nice, and also it's actually a new. In 2009, AIMS University was just quite a new university. So, in my opinion, at that time also I was also new in my career. So I thought that looking at the facilities, looking at the environment here, I like it quite a lot. So that is why I decided to work in AIMS and to grow along with AIMS with my career.
So have you ever came across anything challenging or you find that's interesting while you're teaching in AIMS?
Challenging. I think the most challenging thing is to teach many students and to teach different kinds of students. So one of the ways in trying to deal with that is that as a teacher you need to understand that each student is quite unique and they learn in different ways. So every time you need to adapt yourself, your teaching methods. So you cannot always be stuck with one type of teaching method. You need to keep on adapting and revising your teaching method so that it suits each of the student and all the students can learn and also understand what you're teaching them.
Okay. So, from your point of view, what do you think is most significant aspect that for a biology student or maybe for any student they need to have in them in order to drive them further in doing what they do or in the field that they are interested in?
I think the student, as a biology or science-based student, you need to be inquisitive, ask questions, and also be willing to learn and also to gain as much knowledge as possible. So only in that way, when you are inquisitive, when you ask questions, you are able to gain new knowledge and also find new discoveries.
Okay, so that means like being curious.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that's all for today, and once again, like, thank you for sparing your time,
No problem.
giving us a chance to interview, and it's such a pleasure to learn a lot from you
No problem.
in the
Thank you.
interview. Okay, thank you very much.